Oh, well, I pressed the button now, so we are live. We're with our Josh Uber. Been a while, Josh, and our Patricia, our lovely Patricia. So hi, guys. This is for the recording.
How's it going, Karen? How you been?
Hey, Patricia.
Hi everyone. Hi Josh. Hi Karen.
I was going to say, where's she
What's up,
gone?
Patricia?
You were just talking, me and her. So where's she gone?
I'm
She's
here.
there.
I'm here. I'm just listening at the minute.
So how's life treating you then? Because obviously, when I know it was probably last year or even maybe the year before now, but you were really ill, weren't you?
Yeah, last year at the Salton Sea there was kind of an issue where things got a little scary for a little while. But yeah, I bounced back from that. I'm actually doing pretty good right now. What's cool about the kind of work that I'm doing now, I'm constantly having to use my body, and at the end of the day it hurts like hell, but the next day, like, I feel stronger, so it's all right.
Why are you having to
Maybe
use your body then? Why are you having to use your body? What's changed? What, you run along the side of the car as the taxi driver now?
No, actually, the pay for Uber started really being not that lucrative. All right, so I
Oh,
found
right, you changed
something
your
that,
job.
yeah, I started. Well, I mean, I still drive for Uber when it makes sense to, you know. But I found something that I fill up my time doing, making way more money than I was making with Uber.
Well, what do you do then? Just asking. What's that then?
I work for a company called Instacart, and I go grocery shopping for people.
Brilliant.
Like a
Oh,
lot,
right, okay. Yeah.
like a lot of the people that it turns out that I go grocery shopping for are like disabled people, um, single moms that work. Because there's a lot of times where there's a note attached saying that they'll meet me like when I get there because they're on their way home. Like if they're not there when I get there, message them and they'll let me know how far away they are.
So a completely different job, Josh.
Yeah, totally different. But it's
Moving.
so cool because I still get out and I'm able to talk to people. I talk to the customers. The customers are always pretty cool.
As long as you're happy, that's the main thing, isn't it, Patricia?
Yeah, it's such a rewarding job though, helping people. I know taxi drivers are helping people, but you know when people are struggling with stuff, that's what I love about these type of jobs is they actually see that need and they'll help them. You know, which is nice. So well done, Josh.
Thank you.
Plus, he should be quite proud of himself. He was seriously ill last year, seriously ill. And do you know what was really strange? I don't know if you remember, Josh, we talked rather a lot about your grandfather, and then unfortunately he passed away. But then you became very ill after that, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple months after that. Uh,
Oh.
I've Karen, I've always been really sick. I don't know if you realize that. Like, what happened last year was basically just a part of what's been happening to me since I was like 20 years old. So for like the last like 15 years. So yeah,
In
that
case
was
in
just
case people don't understand, because obviously a lot of people know who Josh Uber is. Just don't have to explain all of it, Josh, but explain a little bit then for people who don't know.
I was diagnosed with diabetes when I was 17. Turned out not to actually be diabetes. It turned out to be a more extreme pancreas issue that started affecting me when I was like 20, and it's an enzyme issue. They call it
Oh, Josh.
pancreatic insufficiency.
That's what I've got, apparently. Yeah. Oh, wait, sorry.
I've over the last dozen years, I've learned how to deal with those. So, to where it's at least, it seems as though it's somewhat manageable for me right now to be able to do some things. I mean, there's still like a lot of things that I can do, and I, for the
Can I
most
tell
part,
you
it's
something,
not.
Josh? I had gallstone problems well, I had it just off and on, right? But when it hit me, it was just so painful. So if you have to go through something like that, I really feel sorry. Really sorry.
I've had my gallbladder removed because I had really bad crystallized gallstones. That was
Yeah,
like
I know what you
six,
mean.
7 years.
I had loads of stones. My gallbladder was full of stones, and they were in my body. And the pain that you get for that is actually your body trying to get rid of the stones. That's what the pain is.
Uh,
So, mm.
for anyone that's listening now, I actually know how to get rid of the
Oops.
stones inside your body now. I know what dissolves them. Whether it's kidney
What's
stones
that then?
or gallbladder stones, it's an enzyme called bromelain, and bromelain is pretty much found mainly in pineapples. So, like, be careful with pineapples because they're highly acidic, and you can really, if you eat way too much of it, you can burn out the inside of your body with like the acid. But
What? Just
if
pineapple? Oh, golly, I thought pineapples would be good for you. I haven't had a pineapple in a while, but they're good for you, aren't
well,
they?
no, pineapples are really good for you, but they're highly acidic. Like if you feed your baby like pineapple, like let's say your kid loves pineapples, right? And you feed them too much, uh, it'll start giving them a rash because of how acidic it is. Um, I learned this one day when I was when I was younger. I sat down with a bunch of kiwis, right? And I ate probably close to like 2 dozen kiwis in one sitting. I just sat there and was slicing them open and eating the inside of them, just having a good old time. I fell asleep for a couple hours afterwards, and I woke up and I couldn't talk. My mouth, I had acid burns all around my mouth, and my throat was like on fire and just really sore. And it turned out I had fried my mouth from the acid from kiwis.
Wow,
And you
so
can do it.
you've got to be careful with whatever you do, then, haven't you?
I think
You can and you can do the same thing with pineapple though if you're not careful. If you eat too much pineapple at one time too quickly, you can burn the heck out of your throat and your mouth.
Wow. Just hope that you're not sort of drumped on a desert island and the only thing is pineapples.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you've heard of like the Baghdad batteries and stuff like that, right? Where they ran on fruit juice and copper rods. Well,
Right.
like something like kiwis and pineapples would be amazing to make a battery out of, with how acidic they are. Like it's already like, I mean, drinking a ton of pineapple juice isn't gonna kill you, but it definitely leaves your mouth looking like you were sucking on a battery.
Does it affect you a little bit differently because of what you've got, Josh? Are you a bit more sensitive to all this, or is this generally for everybody?
No, that's just general for everybody. You got to be
Mm.
careful with fruits like that being too acidic.
I think Patricia wanted to say something. Patricia, what did you want to say?
no, we're just gonna say moderation in everything. You know,
Yeah. Well, if you're like me trying to clear out your kidneys, because apparently I have like a dozen kidney stones spread out through both of my kidneys, and the doctors don't seem to think it's a problem. I seem to think that it's highly uncomfortable, especially when something pushes on my back. So I choose to have something done about that, and their option for that is to cut my kidneys out. I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like putting myself on dialysis for the rest of my life just to get rid of
Oh
the
my God, Josh.
discomfort. So I figured out a way to start breaking it down, and I started like dosing myself with high doses of bromelain. Well, because I also have there's something called salivary gland stones. All right. And the reason why I have all these stones, Karen, is because my body doesn't absorb and break down and get rid of things the way it's supposed to. There's like a disconnect in there somewhere.
So this isn't a hereditary thing then? This is just something that's unfortunately happened to you and your family?
Yeah. Well, okay. So I think I may have figured out something about diabetes.
But that's weird, isn't
That
it? Because I remember that you were telling me that they kept going on about your diabetes, and it isn't even that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what they
Well,
did
I
to me,
think that
Sharon.
Yeah, they did actually, Patricia as well.
I I think that diabetes is actually misdiagnosed. I don't think it's an enzyme problem the way that they say. I think it's a hormonal issue.
Yeah.
Uh, because you have juvenile diabetes, right? And then you have like diabetes that sets in usually when people are later and they're a little bit overweight, right? Well, first off, when you're younger, your hormones are going crazy all the time, especially from the time you're 13 till you're 20 something, right? Women, check this out. You guys have probably known women that have gotten diabetes when they were pregnant, right? Gestational diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But the only thing that was different about that woman was the fact that she was pregnant now. Well, when a woman gets pregnant, what happens to her hormones, ladies?
Yeah. I know.
Don't they start like flipping out?
And also, they've got another human being inside them, which has got its own little cycle going on and stuff. So, yeah.
Well, I think what it does is it sets off your hormones to where they're not quite acting properly, because as soon as they have the baby, within like a couple of weeks, they're no longer a diabetic. You know, like they're no longer diabetic. Well, by that time, their hormones have leveled out a little bit more now. You know, like
So when did this happen for you, Josh? How old were you again?
well,
Puberty then.
I was
Puberty.
I was 17 and a half when I was first diagnosed with diabetes. So that actually kind of fits with my little theory, but that's just me, you know?
Would it have made a difference if they diagnosed you properly? Would you be any better now, or it'd still be the same, but you'd have just been on better treatment? You know, like it would have been, or would you be in the same place? Because you were really
I
ill, weren't you, last year? I mean, people were like, I even, you know, we put something out on Sun and Moon because people were worried that you might not make it.
I so there really was no other option. I don't think that they really know. I think they're looking in the wrong place. I don't think they really know or want to admit that that they don't know as much as they think they do about it, you know?
I'm not laughing at that, Reed. It's just like last night we were doing a little hangout on my other channel and explaining that there's no big database for birth certificates. Like everybody thinks there's all this information and all this technology and all this, but there isn't. So basically, it's probably the same issue with you. They're always telling you, I've got this cure, there's all these doctors, there's all this, but actually, when it comes to it, they don't know nothing. And it's quite incredible. We're the year 2020 and we're like prehistoric. Oh, sorry, that's not a right word anymore, is it? That's just yeah, it's like we're in the dark ages then or something.
Yeah, it's like we're in what do they call it? Yeah, the dark ages, right?
Yeah, we have not come out of the dark ages. You know, all this supposedly technology and stuff that we are supposed to have, all these doctors, all this medication, and actually they're not really treating anybody. I just think they're giving them pills for symptoms.
That's the same with diabetes, I think. It's like they're trying to get everybody on this scale, you know, this spectrum of diabetes when they're not really looking to. I mean, the thing is, they don't really know. We're all assuming, you know, we've got the basics of how our body works, but we don't really know, because how can you test something that's living? You can only test it when it's died. So I don't know. It just seems to me that they just want everybody on diabetic pills or insulin, which can then increase other things going wrong with your body.
I think I mean, if you're doing a more natural remedy, then that's great. But when you're taking all this medication, it's got to have side effects, because each pill has a side effect. If you're mixing these set of pills, you know, some people have to, I suppose, but then there's going to be side effects for all these pills.
I was having issues with my car, trying to figure out what was going on with it. Yeah, I went through a whole nightmare of that for like 2-3 months. That was just atrocious. That was so bad. And
Always got to be something, hasn't there?
well, like right now, I'm just being able to be caught up on stuff. Like, yeah, it's been freaking crazy. But I've been looking into a lot of different health things. I'm trying to work my way out of a hole to where I can have some time to actually be able to focus on things that I want to focus on. Like, I started focusing more on health, like I was saying. I learned a lot about things that I should be taking versus things that I thought before. Like, here, I'll give you one example, Karen. We're taught growing up and in the movies and all that other stuff, right? What happens if I take a tube of air and inject it into your vein?
Oh, I don't think that's very good for you, is it?
Right? We're taught that that'll kill you. Well, guess what? There's a procedure. It's a O3 treatment, okay? Where they take a tube of pure O3 oxygen and slowly, with an IV, inject it into your vein. And it is totally healthy for you and actually good for you. And that threw me off one day because I actually had that procedure done and I was tripping out. I was like, you're going to do what? With what? Like, that just doesn't seem safe.
What was that trying to help you with then? What was that trying to do for you then, injecting air?
Well, it wasn't just air, it was O3. It was
right.
really pure oxygen. And oxygen is very deadly to certain types of bacteria in your body. There's anaerobic.
Are you somebody that runs on like blood is like a plasma until it meets air sort of thing? By the way, just asking.
I don't know. That could be because I think that your blood's electrical. I think it helps carry the electric currents to your body. I don't think just your nerves do that. Because I mean, like so if you cut off the circulation to the end of your hand, right? Like if you tied something off on your forearm to the point where it started making your hand numb, right? Because there's no blood flow to it.
Right.
Like I think it's electrical signals that are being sent. That's why it gets that feeling, like that buzzing feeling. Like, because it does feel like your hand's buzzing, doesn't it?
Yeah, pins and needles.
Yeah. I've also learned that we totally don't need the antibiotics that they give us. We had a very powerful antibiotic long before they ever came out with like penicillin and stuff like that. You ever heard or used colloidal silver, Karen?
I haven't, but I do hear people talking about it.
Yeah, that was antibiotics before they had antibiotics. And it's funny because whenever I tell somebody about colloidal silver, and if they've heard anything about it, for some reason, what they've heard about it is that it's dangerous because it wipes out even the good bacteria in your stomach, not just the bad. Well, this is how tricked the medical industry has you. They think that colloidal silver is bad and the meds they give you are good. In all actuality, their meds actually kill all the bacteria as well. They just don't tell you that. Like when they give you antibiotics
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, when they give you antibiotics, the reason why it screws everyone's stomach up is because they just genocide their whole freaking bacteria system in their gut. And now they need like probiotics, like from like fermented like sauerkraut or kimchi or from water keefers or kombucha, whatever the hell you want to do to get probiotics back into your body. That's what you have to do, whether you're taking their antibiotics or whether you're using colloidal silver. Like, it needs to be done, period. Difference is they don't tell you that. How often have you had doctors tell you that it's going to wipe out all your bacteria?
Just think it's incredible, isn't it? They give you all these treatments, even like chemotherapy, and all it does is seem to wipe everything out on you, and then they wonder why nobody survives.
Oh.
I did hear, though, that it's not an organic thing, silver, and you can't ingest it the same because you can ingest fruit and things, but not silver. But a lot of people use it and feel quite happy using it, don't they? I think Richard Burke uses it. He comes on our channel and is a mod.
Your body's not really going to absorb it, but, like, okay, so just putting a pure silver dollar, right, will keep bacteria from growing. Like, if you just drop the coin in a jug of water, no bacteria will grow in that jug of water. Like, that's what, like, the Romans and shit used to do. All right? Like, that's how they got away with having clean water. Check this out. You can take, because you know how long it takes for, like, if you put milk in a glass, after, I don't know if you've ever had anyone that's left milk in a glass and seen it afterwards, how it turns into some weird, nasty-looking science experiment.
Ugly yogurt, I call it.
Yeah, with all this, like, bacteria growing on it, right? Well,
yeah.
When that was set out, if somebody would have taken a teaspoon of colloidal silver and whipped it around in the milk real quick and mixed it up, it doesn't do that, where it turns into weird yogurt cottage cheese stuff. It'll stay milk. It'll be warm, but no bacteria is going to grow on it. It doesn't have to do with your body needing to absorb the silver. It needs to be in your body, going through your system, so that anything it touches that's a bacteria, it's wiping out. It's kind of like medical cooties. As soon as it's just touched,
you feel that's really helped you? You think that's really helped you, the colloidal silver?
Colloidal silver and elderberry helped me recover from pneumonia. Like, I don't know, like 7 months ago or so.
Well, that's not good, having pneumonia either, is it? Is it? So what is it? You've just got high levels of something, and it's a bit like your body's sort of, because it's the pancreas, it's trying to eat you at the same time. Trying to digest you. Is that what's going on, sort of thing?
I'm still not 100% sure. Like I was saying,
Because you told me it was diabetes. See, so it's still a bit of a new thing for you to learn out. It's not diabetes; it's something different. Josh, oh, he's there. I thought we'd lost you again. Are you there, Josh?
yeah, sorry.
Oh, cool. Just
I'm
checking.
yeah, I'm driving through like a very hilly kind of area.
It just locks out the signal every now and again. So you're still learning about yourself then to help yourself be better then?
Yeah, I had to become my own doctor. Um, what was really cool was for a while I had Sydney was around, and we would go over medical stuff all the time. And she's brilliant with medical stuff, like with medical anything. Like she reads these medical journals and understands them and stuff. Like that's just, it takes me a minute to try to break down what they're saying.
Hmm. Well, I'm very sorry that you've had to go through all that, Josh. All
It's
the
okay.
horrible things, because Patricia has a really hard time as well. And, she's pretty much sort of kept in her flat because, well, she just sorted something out. We should get her out, but little ramps. But she basically struggles. It's horrible, isn't it? When people you love or and want, so intelligent and kind, just all the horrible things happen to the nice people.
I heard somebody in a song recently say, "If the good die young, then I hope I'm one of the bad ones." Kind of a catch-22. I don't.
Yeah, I know, but you're still such a young person, aren't you? And you've been quite ill for a long time, really, then.
Yeah, I've been sick for like half my life, so I kind of got
You
used to
don't
it.
sound it, though, does he, Patricia? He doesn't sound ill. You there, Patricia?
Yeah, I'm here, sorry. Just put
He
his
doesn't
back in.
sound ill, does he? But then that's not always it, is it? Lots of people might look all right on the
Do
outside.
Karen, do I sound ill? Do you sound ill? We don't know, it doesn't affect your voice, does it? Unless you're eating too many kiwi fruits, and then you won't be able to talk much.
I know, but we're hearing him working. He sounds good. I mean, I know that, I've spoken to him since, but I remember him being really ill. And everybody was really worried. And there he is. Look at him now. He's got a job. Well, he's working and he's sorting himself out. It's brilliant, Josh.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, well done. I sounded a bit
No, but
sarcastic. Not.
He is listening. What it is there's just a few seconds. There's like a second and a half delay or something. So that's quite a lot on a hangout. It makes gap. So he is there. You just have to wait for him to finish our message, and then, yeah, when us talking. That's what it is. By the way, he is there, aren't you, Josh?
yep, I'm
There you
Slayer.
go. Yeah, he was pretty quick on doing that one.
Calling you a liar, isn't it?
Yeah, he was always there, but there is a little bit of a time delay. But I suppose it's travelling quite a long way, isn't it? It's not bad considering you're thousands of miles away, really. It could be better because the picture's pretty bad on Google. Someone was telling me that they've got a new system in on Google now, or they go fireworks. If you hear this banging, we're not at war. It's firework night here in UK. What was he called? Guy Fawkes. He tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament, and then they hung, draw, and quartered him, supposedly. And he tried to do it with explosives. So we have fireworks in celebration. Weird that, isn't it? We had fireworks, and all he did was try to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
Which we would have liked him to get away with it.
Yeah, now we would, wouldn't we? Yeah, now we understand.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. You thought, I'll get it before it even starts properly.
Well, isn't that kind of interesting with a lot of the stuff that we heard back in the day, back when we were growing up? Like, you would think to yourself, like, why would a group of people do this? Like, why, like, what would, like, push them to actually really go after that, you know? Like, something like the Boston Tea Party or something like that, right? Or like the dude going in to blow up Parliament, okay?
We don't actually know whether it's true anymore, do we? Because we don't know how much of our history is real anymore. Do we?
Yeah.
But the one thing we did notice, what I've realised, is that they used to make, say, notes, and it would say this person lived here and they bought this, and those written pieces of paper, you can still find some of them, but you can't find a database of birth certificates today. So in fact, the writing one was a better way, because those records were kept. Obviously, because we've still got some of them today. But nothing works today.
Yeah, I think it's a flaw with us relying on storing everything digitally. For the simple fact that you need so much just to be able to get to your information. Like, if it's stored digitally, well, guess what? The device that you need to, first off, now you need a device to be able to view it, right? And then that device, first off, needs to be in working order, and you need a power supply for that device now. Like, if it's written down, it's written down. It's there. You have it. Like, I think that's why hard copies of stuff have always been the best. As a pain in the ass as they are to keep, they've still always been the best, and I think they always will be. And people wanting to move to...
Well, we already know the system we're in doesn't work at all. Not at all. It's just that people haven't realised it. Only those, I think where it shows itself the most is everybody that has to use it. Someone like Patricia, or, has to use the system. You find that nothing works. And I hate what they've done, because what they do now is, so even you've probably got like about 5 doctors, and then you've got to find one of them that's actually responsible for you, because they're only responsible for a bit of you, not all of you. And then you've got to go to the next one, and then the next one, and then go here. And by the time, just even in business, when you're trying to sort something else out, say legally, or I don't know, just in the system somewhere, it's all the same. Nothing works.
Hey, Karen, I started getting healthier the less I started seeing my doctor.
Wow.
They want me to go in and see my doctor every few months.
Which
yeah.
because you don't like going, you're going to hate going, so it puts a bit of stress on you, doesn't it? Because you think, oh, I've got to go to the doctor today. Oh, it's going to give me some more pills.
Oh, I haven't taken any of the pills that they've tried to give me for years. I stopped doing that a long time ago. Because I realized that they were just giving me stuff. Sometimes they were giving me things that had nothing to do with what they were telling me my problem was. But they were like, well, but the side effect of this medication will help with what your ailment is. Wait, hold on. They're using the side effects of medications now to actually treat your problems? What the hell?
Hmm. Well, that's what I'm saying. When you actually start looking, nothing is like you think it is when you start looking into it, is it? But then again, imagine treating you all those years for the wrong thing. I mean, diabetes is completely different to what you've got. And Patricia, is it the same as what you had?
Well, Karen, that's what I was saying. I think diabetes is like, I don't think diabetes is even a thing. It's not a disease. It's a symptom of the greater problem. That's all it is. It's a symptom. It's not an actual disease on its own.
Right, so you're saying that diabetes is the cause. It's coming out as diabetes because there's another problem going on in your body.
Yep.
Yeah, Josh. Just thinking back to, because they told me I've got chronic enzyme deficiency, but the department I was going into was diabetes, hormonal, and I can't remember what the other one was. And I'm thinking, eh? So I can see the connection now. What you're saying about hormones. They're using that to get everybody hooked, not hooked, but dependent on the diabetes. I don't take any tablets because I've said to my doctors, because I struggle to get to doctors anyway, and I'm like, I don't want to take something that's not natural, you know. And with me, they said, oh, we can't give you any treatment for this enzyme deficiency. So, but we're going to send you to the dietitian. And I'm thinking, well, if I can't digest food, why would they need to tell me what food I can eat and can't? It just seems, it's
Yeah,
like,
that's what they did to me. They sent me to dietitians, and I'm like, I don't think you're understanding the problem. No matter what I put in my body, it's not breaking down, dude. Like, it's
yeah,
nothing's happening. Like, it's not working. Something in there is not chopping everything up. Like,
yeah. I think it's to do
uh,
with your immune system. I think they're all connected out there. Hormones, immune system, the, not trying to do anything to
well,
actually find the cause.
if you come down with diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2, even some type 2 people, they start them off on insulin, right? Like, that's what everybody knows treats diabetes, your insulin, okay? Now, trip out on this. Do you realize that there are, what is it, 3 ways or 4 ways? Let's see. Insulin, amylin. There's 4 ways, all right, to lower your blood sugar in your body. Water does it, okay? I mean, it does it slowly, but it will lower your blood sugar. I've seen that actually happen when I've gone into the hospital with high blood sugar, and just them giving me the fluids in the IV lowered my blood sugar quite a few points. Exercise will also lower your blood sugar. Insulin, we all know, lowers your blood sugar because that's what they give you to lower if you are diagnosed as a diabetic. The very last one is called amylin. Now, Sydney told me about amylin. Amylin's kind of interesting because when I went back and I looked at the medications that they were giving me as an enzyme replacement, one of the enzymes in those capsules is amylase, which is amylin. Turns out amylin is what sets off your whole digestive system and keeps your blood sugar in check. Insulin, trip out on this, is the last resort for your body to lower your blood sugar.
Golly, the last result. The last
But
one.
they give it to diabetics to treat.
Mm.
Last time I was in the hospital, right? Doctor came in and wanted to give me a high dose of antibiotics, right? And I asked, like, before we got into this conversation, I was like, so doc, I was always taught that like antibiotics is supposed to be like the last resort because it kills a lot of stuff in your body. And he goes, yeah, it needs to be used as a last resort. And then later on in the conversation, he tells me that he wants to give me antibiotics. And then he tells me that we're just doing it as a precaution. And I was like, doc, in what world is a precaution a last resort?
Mm.
Like, it can't be both, right? Is it a last resort, or are you giving it to me as a precaution? Because a precaution is something that you really don't need, but you're taking it because it's not going to cause any harm and could possibly keep you from having an issue later on, right? Like, isn't that the whole reason why it's a precaution? Like, you're lightly stepping into it? Yeah, way off. Like, this whole medical industry is just screwed.
Well, Patricia understands you, don't you, Patricia, then, having the same thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, they could be slightly different, but they're basically the same. They're all, they never want to find a reason. You know, I know everyone's different, but they never sort of say, well, your immune system's all over the place. We'll try and build your immune system back up, or we'll try and build this back up. They're just treating the symptoms because our body naturally does it, but because they're giving us things that aren't really helping us, it's just going to make it worse. You know, I've got rheumatoid arthritis, and a complication of that, or a symptom of that, is psoriasis. So it's like, well, rather than just trying to treat the rheumatoid, why not try and build my immune system up? Because if that's the reason why it's happening, try and build that up rather than just treating each thing individually. It doesn't make sense. And this is why, you know, we need to watch what we're eating, and we need to make sure that everything is as natural as possible, because our body's a natural thing, you know.
Here, Patricia, I got one for you in regard to the immune system. This happened to my sister-in-law. I was talking to her one day in the kitchen because she'd been talking about a rash that she was getting, right? And so she went in to see her doctor. She goes into the doctor, talks to the doctor. They're like, yeah, we'll give you something to fix it, yada, 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 right? She goes to the pharmacy to fill the prescription. The pharmacist looks at her and goes, are you sure you want this medication, dear? And my sister-in-law is like, huh? Like, why? What's wrong with it? And she's like, well, this medication is specifically designed to shut down your immune system. So the doctor's fix wasn't to fix the rash. It was to fix what was causing the rash, which was what her immune system is. Because the rash isn't the problem. The rash is your body's warning that there's something going on and you need to fix it inside.
Yeah.
But basically, the doctor's idea, it's equivalent to basically taking the batteries out of the smoke detector instead of dealing with the noise when a fire's burning in your living room. Like, it just really shows how backwards they are with all this, right? Like, instead of fixing the problem, let's just shut down everything that's related to the problem.
And then in the future will cause even more problems. So she might be have a rash now, but in 5 years' time or whatever, it could be anything that's autoimmune related. She'll be getting the symptoms for it, and each time she'll be going. I'm not saying she will, but you know, that's what they hope, that, you know, to keep them in a job, basically. Because if no one's ill, they'd be out of a job.
Well, essentially what they would be doing is turning her into an AIDS patient, where just a cold that she could pick up from her son that came home from school one day could kill her.
Yeah.
And it's just really sad.
So basically, you know, like psoriasis is something, it's making the skin quicker than your body can cope with it. That's what's sort of happening in your gut. Something like that is going on in your gut. It's the same sort of thing. It's happening too fast, and it's creating this problem, isn't it? Like it's overactive, which is then basically it's your pancreas, yeah. That's where all the digestive juices are, aren't they? Or not? Can't remember now. I'm probably talking rubbish.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know a lot about my body, but in the stomach, that stomach and then pancreas. Pancreas is just at side, slightly lower. I don't know. I've had that many MRI scans. I haven't actually got the pictures. I wish I had the
You
pictures.
don't want your pancreas to erupt inside you. It will kill you. You know, my son was in an accident, and this is his gut sort of severed, like literally right next to his pancreas. They told me if it had been his pancreas and it ruptured it, then he would have been dead. So I think that's where your digestive juices are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to go and look it up now. They'll get about 600 messages. You're wrong.
I mean, it's amazing how much we do that we don't know. Sorry, about our bodies, because it's what we've been told, and it's not until you look into things and you're like, I mean,
Well, I I was talking to somebody about this a while ago about I question what they tell us about how a fetus and a baby is formed now. You know why? Because I don't believe them. And when I started thinking about it rationally, what camera did they have stuck up some woman for 9 months so they could film this shit? Right? Like, how did they get the footage of this? How did they get an image of all these images that they show us of these babies being formed? Those are all made on a computer. There's no way anybody's filming that. Come on, give me a break. Which means that all we've seen our whole life is somebody's interpretation of it, right? Of something that they, of a test that
So
was
basically,
done,
you all
or
think that babies go through all the sort of animals. They look like amphibians. They look like dinosaurs. I remember that one. Oh my goodness, they look like dinosaurs. Because that's what they're saying, and a baby sort of what they're showing you does look like a bit like a dinosaur. So that's all a load of rubbish too. Well, I don't know if you can put a camera in a pregnant woman like that. I don't know whether the body would always want to be rejecting it. Or sticking a camera into a pregnant woman isn't very good, to be honest, is it? It can risk the baby.
yeah, like just okay. Here's another one for you. With stuff that we're supposed to not be able to see, but they're telling us now, like, oh yeah, we can see it. Ladies, has anybody ever seen an atom?
Seen a what?
An atom.
Oh right, yes. A few people have talked about that. Yeah, there's no such thing as an atom.
Well, not just that, whether there's a such thing or not, but I was taught my whole life that nobody's seen it. 99% of the time before, like a year ago, if you searched for it, it would tell you that no man has seen an atom, that when they say they've seen an atom, all they've seen is the effects of an atom. Okay? But nobody's ever actually seen it. Now, there's an article, I think it was in like Popular Mechanics or Popular Science or one of those stupid ass scientific magazines. And they were saying that you could see this atom with your naked eye. Say what? So first off, we went from having something that was so small that nobody could see no matter what you were using, to now we can see it without needing anything. Like,
So basically, what that is it's just another theory.
I mean, to be honest, come on, you've not realised what they're saying. The atom's got bigger, so it's big enough now to see it. I'm just saying.
it's super
Yeah.
size.
Wow. But all they're really talking about is theories then with the atom, because no one's ever seen it except that person. But you know, we don't see atoms, so that's got to be a theory about what it is. Because if no one's seen it, it's a theory.
Maybe the atom's been eating too much sugar and it's just got a bit fatter. You know, I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
That was very funny, Patricia. Yeah. Well, never. Well, Josh has made me think tonight. Anything else, Josh?
No. I really didn't have a whole lot that I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to be able to talk to you. It's been a long time.
Oh, darling. Yeah, it's
I'm
been
glad we're able to
ages.
chat for a minute.
You were part of the more earlier part of Sun and Moon.
Yeah. Back
Cool.
in the day.
We had some big long hangouts then, didn't we?
Yeah. I'm actually really glad to hear that you're not staying up till like 3 o'clock in the morning on Hangouts anymore. Like that's
Josh,
awesome. Cause
I stay up really late making videos for the other channel now. Because I've got two channels, and the other one is more to do with the media and waking people up a different way, and through a case that's deep fake. The case is deep fake, and it's made me realise that, you know, like, there is no government. They're just all actors. They're all actors. It's all an act. All of it is an act with actors.
because I'm
That's why
walking through
I thought he's not
Costco
even
right now.
listened to what I've said. I was just saying everything's an act, and everybody is actors out there in that world of globy thingy bob. They're all actors and actors with acts.
Yeah, too many actors. Like like whenever I see Neil deGrasse Tyson on TV talking about science, I can't help but just sit there and laugh and just be like, I can't believe people are actually paying attention to this guy. Like,
They're
once you realize
comedians,
he's an
aren't they?
actor, yeah, once you realize he's an actor, like, start watching it from that point of view, and there's no way you can take the guy serious.
I think it's worse than that. He's a comedian. He's actually a comedian.
Yeah.
I mean, when you actually watch it, all he's trying to do is make everybody laugh.
Well, I mean, you do know that he was big into like dancing and production and stuff like that, right?
Right. Anyway,
I found
I just find
well,
it really incredible. You imagine that money that they put into NASA. I mean, I do repeat this because I did see this program about this hurricane that's coming. I can't remember which one it was, but 2, 3 years later, they went back to this town, and it still looked like the hurricane came through yesterday. No one's cleared any of the houses up, but it's all still. Oh, but there's not enough money to rebuild the town. Yeah, we're going to fake space. They're using that money for everything else, though. CERN, HARP, the Not Wars, the whole thing. It's all being used. Whatever they want to use it for, that's what they're taking it from. But imagine if you put that into the people, how different it would be.
yeah, you'd have a bunch of people that wouldn't be relying on them for everything. So
Yeah,
that's
do
not
you know
what
what
they
it
want.
seems to me as well, with everything that we're talking about, with the medication and the side effects and what they're doing and why they do it. After all, they want a nanny state. They want us totally reliant on them.
Yep.
Nothing is about sustaining yourself, teaching us, like nowadays, because there's been a bit of a gap, you'd have to say to people, you need to grow your own vegetables. But there's nobody helping, learning, teaching. We're just watching the television and buying our plastic food.
Yeah, it's bad, right?
It is really, especially what we're living in is pretty demonic, to be honest.
Highly, highly demonic. Yeah,
It's horrible. It's
I don't
horrible.
know.
I even noticed some pictures of Boris and all that they're putting on the thing. Maybe some of these newspaper companies decide they don't like him, but he looks like a demon, and that one looks like a demon. I think it's because I look at it differently now. And all the pictures of the politicians, they all look like demons. You know, they're not nice looking people somehow. They've made them, they just all look like demons in the photograph. But
wonder
they
if that could
are.
actually
We're
be on
living in
purpose.
such a demonic place. They're all
Yeah,
turning into demons.
I guess that's their outside showing what's on the inside.
Oh, you still remain a really nice person considering you've been quite ill and had to sort of have the brunt of horrible things, aren't you, Josh? It's nice to know that a young person remains nice.
Well, at the end of the day, Karen, I still got to be me. You still got to be you. Patricia still has to be herself. Like, can't be anybody else. Can't do anything else except for what you can do.
But I think really, in a way, Patricia, it's about the fact that actually you're right. You have to help yourself because Patricia, I know that we sorted this out now, guys. By the way, Patricia sorted it out because we made a hangout and Patricia got really upset because I mentioned the fact she's a prisoner in her own home, but she's got some ramps now. But the things that she has to do, I have to go to the council, then go to people who own the building. There's all these rules and regs, and it's like she still probably wouldn't get the ramps. So she's bought her own and she can take them up and put them down. She doesn't really need permission or anything, but she's still doing it. But they didn't sort it out. She sorted it out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
decided that stuff them. I'm going to get the ramps. They're not going to know if I've got them or not. And then if the permission comes through, I'll feel a little bit easier, I suppose. But I'm just going to stuff them. I need to get out of this flat. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. So, yeah, I bought the ramps. I'm getting myself out. And if they come round and say, you don't have permission, they're not going to know because I moved the ramps for the amount of time they're going to be out. They're not even going to know. And if they do know, kick me out. I don't care. It'll help me get another property in where I want to be in Leeds. So,
Just to explain to Josh, she's not in a wheelchair all the time because she doesn't want to be, but she needs to get her buggy out. She cannot go out without her buggy because she can't walk very far because of her
Yeah.
arthritis. But lip in her flat meant that she couldn't then lift this thing up and over it and get it out. And then when she's been out and she's tired now, it's actually getting that buggy back over that lip. She just do it. So she needs some kind of ramps. And then she got even more upset because she didn't have a normal size lip on her door. It had to be a bigger one, and she couldn't find ramps. And then she did. But someone's having to amend them for you, aren't they, Patricia?
yeah, that's only cosmetic because I've still got to lift it up, but at least I'm only going to lift it just under an inch rather than 3.5, 3 inches. So, but yeah, it's it's stupid, but anyway, I'm getting the ramp, the other ramp, because it's like two ramps that are separate. You know, it's a big one, but it's split into two because I can't lift a big one, big piece of aluminium because they say they're light, but they're not really light. And these ones are just over 2 kilograms, so I can lift them. But yeah,
It's
so
not just that, though, is it, Patricia? I hope you don't mind me saying, but you struggle even moving your fingers, don't you? So someone, it might be quite easy for me or someone else to lift that ramp, but it isn't easy for you.
no, because rheumatoid affects all my joints, every single joint. So it is a bit of a struggle, but I'd rather have that. I know I don't want to because I've given myself a lot of pain, but I'd rather have the choice now. Well, I have the choice now that I can actually go to the shop. I mean, I'm only limited to two shops, well, two areas, but it's better than being cooped in for over 2.5 years. So,
Yeah, I was just going to say
you
that. How
know,
long have you been a prisoner, Patricia? 2.5 years.
I mean, if I hadn't had any kids, it would have been even longer. It would have been basically 5 years. But I've been lucky. I've had my kids, you know, living here unofficially, and they've helped me. But anyway, 2.5 years solid without any help from anyone, pretty much. And so, like I said, tomorrow I'll be getting the other ramp back. So from Wednesday onwards, I will be fully mobile.
Mobile. You'll be
Yeah,
mobile. Well done, Patricia. Well done.
yeah. I still get
But
upset because
about
it's
this time last week, Patricia was so upset because she was worrying, and I told her not to worry, that somehow it would get sorted, and it has, hasn't it?
yeah.
So I'm really pleased for you.
Not as much as I am for myself, to be honest.
Oh, you can be, Patricia. You're allowed to be after being a prisoner for 2.5 years. I'm so sorry, Patricia.
Oh, it's all right. It's one of
Does
those
that mean you
things.
won't talk to me as much anymore? I'll be going, no, you'll be going, no, I'm going out. I haven't got time to talk to you now. I'm
Oh
going
yeah,
out.
I never thought I could use that now as an excuse for that. Even if I'm not going out, I'll say I'm going out, Karen. I'm joking.
Oh, so poor Patricia. She'll be sitting in a little buggy going, Karen, 5 more minutes because I'm on the buggy.
Yeah, just crossing the road, Karen.
Is Josh there? He's muted. He got a bit noisy his end. He
I
muted
think
himself.
he's shopping, isn't he?
Or is he dropping it?
Yeah,
Oh, he's there.
I am. Yeah, no, I'm standing in line right now, so it's really loud around me. So I got to get myself muted.
Oh, I was going to say, Josh, is this thing that you're doing? Have you been working then, or is this shopping for yourself?
No, I've been working.
So you're in the shop. So you just got some shopping for one of those mothers.
For somebody, yeah.
I see. So it's not a specific shop. It's not like you're working for one company that you have, like we've got Tesco, Co-op, and that. It's not that you're working for a company. You're working for a different company that just says go and get their shopping, and then they come home and you've got their shopping.
Yep, that's exactly how it works. I'm in different stores throughout the day.
Well,
Makes
and it
it
gives you a
fun.
bit of
Yeah,
exercise walking around the shops.
it gives me a ton of exercise, especially when I'm delivering like 15 cases of water to somebody.
Wow. I don't think we have it quite like that, do you? Because Patricia would love one of those, wouldn't you? Josh, can you come over to the UK and get Patricia shopping for her?
Oh, Karen, I don't need that
Oh
now.
yeah, you
I can go
got
to
your
the
ramps,
shop.
yeah.
I can go to the shop. Yay! Good grief! It just shows you little things mean more than big things. You know,
Well, it's
something.
still a big thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's everyone takes it for granted. What I say to everyone, you know,
But
people take it for
you
granted.
could have really done with Josh, couldn't you? Like someone like Josh getting your shopping for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy when I found out that I could actually get McDonald's delivered, Uber Eats, and I'm like, yes. When I fancy McDonald's, I know it's rubbish food, I know that, but when you're struggling to eat and you think, oh, what could I eat? I get myself a Big Mac now and again. You know, now I can go to the shops, I can buy my fruit, and I can buy the decent things that I want to buy. So it's win-win. And if the council come back and say you can't have your ramp, you've got no permission to put ramps out, which I can't see it happening, but you know, you never know with these lot. I'm still going to get them out because they're not going to see them. They're going to be in a cupboard. They're not going to know that I've even got anything. Well, except for the one inside. But I don't care. I honestly don't give a two hoots at the minute because I need to do this and I'm going to do it. And then I've got to find something else to fight for and get my teeth into. Like, ugh. But yeah,
Moving next, Patricia.
yeah, nightmare. Especially when I'm having to do it on my own. But it's one of those things. I
So
dare say it.
I actually did a video about this. It's a bit like I wrote to Trump about the other case, and I told him, I said, "Are you running the country, or is the military?" In fact, it's higher than the military, but I used that because I couldn't. At that point, I was thinking, well, if all the judges and everybody are in it, then it's got to be higher than him, or around him. And he never replied. I basically said, "There's no one going to come and save us. We've got to do this ourselves."
Yeah, the Messiah complex, I call it, where we always think someone else is going to save us, but we can only save ourselves. And that does sound selfish, but in a way it's right because not that it's selfish, but we can only save ourselves. Each
Patricia
person.
is one of the kindest people ever, and she's had to listen to me rabbit on for the last 3 years, like
I deserve
non-stop
a
about
medal.
things. So yeah, you can. Yeah, it's perfect, Patricia. Don't worry about it.
Well, I don't like conforming, as you know, non-compliance and all that stuff, and I just think I need to do what I need to do. I'm not hurting anybody, so if they don't like it, it's tough, basically. And I nearly swear, sorry, Karen, but yeah, it's I'm gonna do what I need to do, and
You've been the bestest friend anybody could have, and I love you much. And I'm just so pleased that you're getting something that you want. It's like Christmas, isn't it? Like what you'd call Christmas.
yeah, but it should have something that should have been happening years ago. And the council just don't, well, it's not council, it's a housing association thing. They just don't give two monkeys. As long as they get the rent from you, that's all they're bothered about. I mean, I had a phone call yesterday. Can you ring up about your rent account? Well, it's not rent, it's bedroom tax, but they put it on your rent account. So as I'm trying to move, that looks bad. So I try and keep on front
Oh,
of it.
by the way, just to say to everybody, Patricia doesn't want to be in this two-bedroom flat, and because she's got an empty room, they're charging her council tax, and she's trying to leave it, and she's been trying to leave it for a few years now, and she's being charged the bedroom tax. It's just, it's so ironic and horrible. Carry on. Carry on,
Yeah,
Patricia.
I forgot where I was now, but basically, I'm reluctant to pay it. I'm only paying it because I want to keep on their side because they will give the new council a reference of how good I've been paying my rent and all this lot. I'm a good tenant and all this lot. So I just want to keep that. I mean, I'm not really bothered to be honest, but I've got to look like that I care because I am really reluctant to pay it when they knew the situation with the getting the scooter in and out, and they did nothing. They was trying to get funding from somebody else for them to do it. Because I wasn't permanently in a wheelchair, they wouldn't allow it. So from that day when they said, "Oh, you have to take your scooter inside because we can't have it outside because of health and safety rules," which is a load of rubbish. That's the day they made me housebound. So I don't feel sorry. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel anything for not paying my rent. I will pay it when I decide to pay it. I don't let it go over a certain amount. But anyway, that's sorry.
Yeah, because it's like a double whammy, isn't it? You're trying to vacate it. You've been on this stupid point system they've done, and then you've got to pay the bedroom tax for a place you don't even want to be in.
Yeah, but I wasn't on my own when I moved in here, so it's not really their fault of anything. But the fact that they've not cared one little bit whether I can get out on a day-to-day basis, I just think, and maybe it's misguided, but at the end of the day, stuff them. They'll get the money when I feel up to paying it, and they can pester me all they like. I'm not going to give them it. I'll give them it when I want to give them it.
Oh, Patricia.
But
As long as
maybe
you do.
I might feel differently once I've actually got out of the flat and you know they haven't helped me one little bit, so I'm not really bothered about as long as I can get myself out of this flat with at least less stress and pain as trying to get it out of a door that's 8 inches high and it's got a step and step inside and a step outside. It's not just a normal doorway. But oh, I'm just glad that I've got them, and I'm just gonna do it. I can't let anyone stop me doing
I
anything.
think anybody listening to this will really feel for you that you've been a prisoner. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? And none of us can appreciate what
But
it's like for you.
the thing with that is, Karen, it's because it's took me so long to actually not to realise, but to actually ask for help. Because that's the hardest bit. Is actually because I've buried my head in the sand. I've got on with my crafting. I have people ring me. I ring people. And to a point, it doesn't. I can still do things. I'm still alive and I'm still doing things. But when I think about it, and this is why I get upset, because I buried my head in the sand that long that it's hard to ask for help. And
Also,
when I
though,
realised,
people don't realise you're quite a shy person, even on the Hangouts. What it is when something goes wrong and I speak to Patricia, I'm going, oh my God! Patricia will just go quiet. You just go quiet, don't you? You go in yourself, whereas I go out of myself.
yeah, because I realised screaming and shouting about stuff doesn't
thanks,
help.
Patricia. Thanks, Patricia.
No, I mean me. If I screamed and shout, no, it doesn't change anything.
I don't just mean that. I mean, maybe what I mean is you come on these Hangouts now and, people even like listening to you talk, because when you talk, you have something really good to say. Maybe you've got a bit more confidence to do these things now and think about it differently. Like maybe 5-10 years ago, you weren't as confident somehow. You didn't realise you weren't, but you're a bit more confident.
Oh,
I know that.
Here. I know that. I've always been a shy person because I've always thought that I haven't got anything worthwhile to say. But this is one of the reasons why I wanted to start these videos of my own, because I'm just going to waffle on like I'm doing now, not really making much sense, but it's just my way of getting it out off my chest. I can moan about things, not people. I don't moan about people. I moan about how people behave, but not, anyway, I'm just digressing here. But yeah, as they say, as you get older, you get more mature. And I've got to a point where I'm just, if I want to go out with a woolly hat that's red, green, yellow, and pink, and I'm going to do it. I don't care what people think of me, because if it keeps my head warm, I'm going to wear it. Obviously, you still have that little bit. Well, I'm not going. I mean, I've even thought about going out in a wig because people don't know me. I could dress up as Queen's mother. Well, no, she's dead, but the Queen. I could dress up as a Queen, and people might look at me. And I'll think, well, I'm not bothered. You can think what you like. I'm going to do what I need to do in everything I can in my life. Like my sister, she says, don't bring your wheelchair. And I'm like, well, I need my wheelchair because otherwise I'm going to be doing a lot of walking. She says, but if you get up and you dance, people are going to say, I thought your sister was disabled. I'm like, yeah, but if I want to get up and dance, I'll get up and dance. I might ache for about a week afterwards, but I'm going to do it because I want to do it. I want to dance in Asda's, but my son used to walk off and I'd look round and be like, where's he gone? Because I'd be like, obviously only top half dancing. It's not like I got out of a wheelchair and did a Saturday Night Fever sort of thing, but, I love music. I love moving to it. That's what makes me alive. Anyway, sorry, Karen, I'm waffling out. I'm sorry. Go on.
See what happens when everybody thinks you're quiet, Patricia, but you see what happens when Patricia starts talking. That's good, Patricia. I'm glad that you do, because people were saying we never hear Patricia. So it's good that you do. I'm only teasing
We're
you.
saying, can you shut Patricia up? She's doing my head in.
I think they're like, oh, I'm really happy for you, Patricia. I'm really happy for you.
I'm happy for me too.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Oh,
oh yeah, you're lovely, Patricia. You've been a really good friend to me. Right, so we're back with Josh now after that very nice talk with Patricia. And I'm so happy for her. So where are you now then, Josh?
I'm in Lake Elsinore, getting ready to leave a Costco store.
I kind of like the idea. I'm not saying we don't have them in London and other big cities, but I don't hear of anybody here going, hey, I'm just going to get that app and order my food, and it's pretty good. Oh, he's gone. Oh, she's back now. Yeah.
Well, I also deliver to a lot of like small businesses.
Right.
Like small restaurants and stuff like that.
Oh, that's good. It's good. It's a good idea. I mean, where you are quite big, isn't it? It's quite a lot of people.
Yep. There's a ton I'm telling you though, some of these orders, like, it makes me wonder, when I go to the store, pick stuff up, and they're like a mile and a half from the store I was just at.
Yeah, but you know what it's all about. It's just the society we live in, isn't it? Trying to you think you're making your life better and easier by doing all these things because you're so busy and you've got this to do. And, oh, someone else can do my shopping. But it gives you a job and you like it, don't you?
It helps fill the day up for right now.
Anyway, we've sort of been going for, well, Patricia went for about half an hour.
Oh, no, you're making me feel bad.
I'm not. I'm only teasing you. Josh is still working. So, Josh, we will end it soon. But do you want to, I don't know, say something? Have the last 5-10 minutes talking about what it is you want to talk about?
I pretty much said everything I really wanted to say. Oh wait, here. If you gals want to check something out, look up a company called Clone Aid.
Clone what?
It's spelled CLONAID.
Right. Yeah.
It's a cloning company that's been around since 1997.
Well, it's not going to be
They're
good
on
then.
record.
Yeah.
They're on record for cloning people.
Not good then, Josh.
Yep.
None of it's good, is it?
In
So these
2002.
these people would be 20 years old now, wouldn't they?
Well, in 2002 they released their first clone.
What, you mean they're roaming around the streets now as we speak?
Yeah. Like, there are, according to this company, legitimate clones out there of people. So, just something to keep in mind if anyone ever says that you're crazy for the stuff that we think is going on.
That's because it is going on, though, isn't it?
Yep.
A lot of people want to bury their heads in the sand and pretend it's not going on, but it is. And if more of us woke up, then it would just get better because some of this stuff would stop and the place we live in would change. Vibrations, everything. Start looking and learning and doing. You know, we laughed at all those medicine doctors and all that kind of stuff, you know, herbs and all that. And actually, that's what you need.
Yeah, they call that snake oil and then give you man-made crap.
So what are you doing for the rest of your day? Are you finishing soon? Or have you got a lot more work to do?
I am grabbing some lunch right now, and then I'm going to go drop off those groceries I just picked up, and probably go back to my house and
Well, we've really
get
enjoyed
some
having
stuff
this
done.
hangout with you. Yeah, we've really enjoyed having this hangout with you. Do you think it's a good time to end it then, Josh?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine.
Cool, but let's not leave it so long next time. Patricia, do you want to say anything before we go? Well, goodbye to the recording, I mean.
Yeah. Josh, I wish you well in your discovery of finding out what's working for you and stuff. So great with that, and it's lovely to hear you again. Like Karen says.
Yeah, it was nice seeing you again, Patricia.
And I'm going to say my usual, just because I say it every time, or try to, unless Karen accidentally cuts me off. I love you. I love you, Josh.
Love you too, dear.
Oh, I love you too, Josh. Anyway, that bit about cutting off is I'll be going, well, we're going now, goodbye. And just when I go push the button, Patricia will go, I love you all. So now we make a
Yeah,
point. That she says it.
can I say it quickly now?
Yeah, you can say it again. Go on, Patricia.
I love you all. Take care.
Oh, we
Love you,
love you,
Karen.
Patricia. I love you, Patricia, and I love Josh. And thanks everybody that's watched this hangout. And it's been really nice to catch up with you, Josh. And I'm so glad that you're feeling better too. That's two people who are feeling better, and it's because they help themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patricia, I'm really glad to hear that you're able to get things sorted out, especially with that ramp, being able to get out of the house.
Yeah.
I've been
Thank
stuck
you.
in.
Can I just say very quickly? Do you remember when we were on the hangout with Josh Stone? He said he'd pray for you, and that things would be sorted out in a few days. And I was thinking Patricia's probably going a few days, but it was true. Maybe his good wishes work, Patricia.
Yeah.
Do you remember
You
Josh
never
saying that
know.
to you? But at the
Yeah.
end,
You
you were a
never
bit,
know.
you were because it was his hangout where you got upset. Oh, Mikey. But he then said, "Oh, Patricia, I'm sending you some really good vibrations, and I really," and you went, "Oh, thanks, Josh." And then we'll have to tell him it worked.
Yeah.
Let's have another hangout. Anyway,
Um,
to this Josh, it's. I didn't realise that you and Patricia had something very similar. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was that similar either.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shock realising that you've both got the same sort of thing. But anyway, just for the hangout, Josh, we'll say goodbye when I've pressed the button afterwards. But just for the hangout, we'll say goodbye to everybody. So, thank you, everybody. Much love. Mwah. Thank you, Patricia and Josh
All right,
again.
everyone.
bye,
Have a good day,
everyone.
everybody. Or a good night, wherever you are.
Hey, thank you so much. Patricia, you going to say it one more time then?
Love you all. Thank you for watching, listening. Take care, everyone.
Yeah, goodbye from us. Thank you, everybody.